Shake Table Lab by Brayden-Olivia and Olivia Ward. First, we did a basic sketch of the drawing. That way, we would know about what size the building should be and how we should construct it. We finished with the base and adding in straws for the initial support beams. Afterwards, we went back and wrapped tape around the straws connecting pieces to hold the building together and add support. We completed building the walls and began to work on the roof of the first story. We added in our supporting crossbeams to help support both the first and second stories. The walls, crossbeams, and roof were completed, and with that, we finished our building. To add support, we added both a central support beam on the first story and a cluster of straws coming from every corner on the second story. Our building's first story was roughly 17.5 centimeters, and our second story had a height of 18.5 centimeters. Our building held 8 sandbags on the first story and 3 on the top story. With shaking, we believe that our building can hold many sandbags. It has a lot of promise. Our building needed to be strengthened on the central supporting beam of the first story. The strongest part of our building is the center cross beams on the second story. The weakest part of our building is the first story central supporting beam. We used a lot of tape. The center cross beams for our second story used the most tape. The other parts where we were very liberal with tape were the corner pieces of the first story. If we had extra supplies, we would have taken extra straws and used them to support the first story. We could have wrapped them around the 4 supporting straws that were already there.
Yeah.
All right, timer.
3, 2, 1, start. 2 seconds. Oh, it's gone. I bet it's 2 seconds.
Brayden, bruh.
Oh, you're right. Three, 2, 1, go. 2 seconds, I bet.
Nope.
No.
Oh my god!
Our building of me and Olivia's held 6 sandbags, and then when it held 7, it collapsed. Our building fell so first the weakest spot, the center beam, it bent in half, which was making the sides have more weight, and so that's why it collapsed. If we could do it over, I would make sure we use our straws more wisely next time, and make sure that if we need straws that we can save some over time. I learned that you need to have a strong beams holding up the building. If you don't, it's just gonna fall apart. And this project was fun because we could be creative, and it was just so much fun building. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, so our building supported 7 sandbags total, 5 sandbags on the bottom and 2 on the top. Just with motion. Without motion, it could have held at least 8. Our building failed in our weakest spot, which is our central support beam. And then in 2 spots on the first story, the building's bent in half and collapsed. If we could have built this over, I would have added extra straws to support the building That way, if one collapsed, the whole building wouldn't collapse because there would be other stress to support it. And I learned that you have to have a strong foundation and strong base for an earthquake to not damage a building, especially a two-story building. And I enjoy being able to be creative with building and kind of experiment with limited support. This is the first major earthquake. Our building was still very stable and not moving on the shake table at all. The x-axis, green, was the forward-backwards motion of the shake table. The y-axis, orange, was the side-to-side motion of the building, and the z-axis was the bouncing of the building in up and down motion. This is when our building failed. It managed to hold 7 sandbags total, 2 on top and 5 on the bottom.